Most horror game monsters are predictable. Sure, they're scary. Might be huge, disgusting, fast, or accompanied by a noise specifically designed to destroy your headphones. But eventually, you start to understand them. You learn how the game forces them to act. You figure out ways to outmaneuver them, outsmart them, or even embarrass them. But once you understand the rules, the monster changes. That primal fear of something hunting you leaves, and instead the creature starts feeling like a system you just have to exploit to survive. Because what's really scary isn't strength, it's intelligence. The monster doesn't actually need to be intelligent, it just needs to make you believe that it is. It needs to react to what you do, believably. It needs to behave differently when the situation changes. And most importantly, it needs to create doubt. Will this hiding place work again? Did it hear that? Is it searching randomly, or does it know I'm here? The moment you start asking those questions, the monster stops being predictable. And probably the most famous example of this is the Xenomorph from Alien Isolation. Intelligence is frightening because it attacks the player's confidence. While physically strong creatures can also destroy your confidence, an intelligent creature differs because it can threaten your plan directly. You might know where an exit is, you might have a distraction ready, you might think you understand how it behaves, but the moment it behaves differently than expected, this plan collapses. Now you're not only afraid of being caught, you're afraid that the monster has understood what you're trying to do all along. When a scripted enemy finds you, it can feel like the game triggered an event, especially on repeat playthroughs. But when a perceived intelligent enemy finds you, it feels more like you were outsmarted. That creates a strange kind of paranoia. You start giving it more credit than it's due. If it enters the room, you assume it followed you. If it pauses outside of a locker, you assume it knows you're inside. If it walks away, you wonder whether it's trying to draw you out. The monster doesn't need to actually think all of these possibilities. It only needs to behave convincingly enough that the player believes that it could. There is something humans find deeply uncomfortable about feeling observed. Horror games normally make the player feel powerless by taking away weapons or resources. But an intelligent monster creates a different kind of powerlessness. It makes you feel exposed. Your habits can become weaknesses it preys upon. Your choices always seem to reveal information. Even a successful escape might teach the creature something about how you behave. Whether the Xenomorph is literally learning the way players behave is almost irrelevant. The possibility that it might be learning is enough. Because once you believe the monster is paying attention, you begin paying attention to yourself. You question every sound you make. You hesitate before using the same strategy twice. You stop asking, what does the enemy do, and start asking, what does it know about me? That is why the Xenomorph remains frightening even when it's not on screen. A predictable enemy only threatens you while it's nearby. An intelligent enemy stays inside your head. Every empty hallway becomes suspicious. Every sound might mean it's following you. Every moment of silence feels temporary, unearned. The fear is no longer limited to the creature itself. It comes from anticipating its next decision, or where it might show up next. That is the part I want to explore in my own game, Dread Below. Not recreating the exact systems behind Alien Isolation, but recreating that uncertainty that you feel. That feeling that the monster's not simply moving throughout the level, but rather it's searching for you. I feel like a lot of developers should maybe add some aspect of intelligence to their game, whether it's horror or not. That doesn't mean that every enemy needs a huge advanced learning system like Alien Isolation. Even small reactions can make a huge difference. An enemy that investigates where it last saw you, changes its approach after a failed attack, or response to the habits the player repeats can feel far more alive than one just following the same pattern each time. Intelligence makes encounters feel less like solving a fixed puzzle and more like dealing with an opponent. And in horror, that difference is terrifying. A predictable monster just follows rules, but an intelligent monster makes it feel like the rules are constantly changing. A horror monster does not need to be actually alive. Of course, it won't be able to understand fear, develop original plans, or remember every encounter it has. It only needs to respond convincingly enough that the player begins imagining those things themselves. Because a predictable monster is a puzzle. It could be a simple puzzle or a more complex puzzle, but eventually you learn its rules, discover the solution, and eventually stop being afraid of it. But an intelligent monster feels like something else. And when the player thinks something is watching, listening, and adapting to them, that is much harder to stop being afraid of.